everybody, just a quick 6mm Ancients showcase, as I promised at the end of my last video review of Age of Hannibal. This is my Alexandrian Macedonian army, which I built up over a number of years. I've had it a little while now. Mainly 6mm Bacchus figures, a few rapier mixed in as well, and the rule sets I tend to use for this are To the Strongest, Sword and Spear, and more recently adapted for Age of Hannibal as well, using their point system. I've had this out on the table many times and enjoyed using it. It's actually quite a difficult army to play, I feel. Phalanxes notoriously, I don't feel, play necessarily the way they did in real life. When you read the sources around Alexander's victories and the effectiveness of the phalanx, the pike phalanx as was, that never seems to happen in the games I play, even when I try and use the tactics of the day. So saying that, it does pose some good challenges. It has a lot of light troops, it has good quality cavalry, so it's an interesting army to use, and was a fun army to paint up, base and put together as well. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you a little bit more. So these are some of my Greek light cavalry. Got the very recognisable hats, which the Greek light cavalry often had. Sort of nice, in this case, sort of golden leather type cloaks. So that's those, and then we've got quite a specialist light cavalry unit for the period, for the Macedonians. The Prodromoi, I think that's how you pronounce it. They had equivalent of lances or very long spear armed light cavalry, fought in this kind of diamond formation. So they, in generally speaking, in most of the rules we play, have some sort of special abilities. Nothing too major, but just makes them a little bit more effective than the normal light cavalry. And then we've got archers. So these would predominantly be Cretan archers in the Macedonian armies. The main man himself, Alexander. So I've done a command base here. Whoops, pick that up a little bit better. So I've done Alexander in the yellowy gold colours, just so he sort of stands out. Let's try and zoom that in a little bit. There you go. And then a couple of officers, etc., kind of with him. And then his companions, so the famous Macedonian cavalry, light cavalry but elites. Again, really effective, fast moving cavalry that he tended to lead, hence he's set up with those. And then if we just go across the front, back to some of the light troops, so we've got Slingers here. Again, just a couple of units of those, some more archers, and then some general, again, kind of light cavalry. So again, these would just be average, probably mercenary light cavalry in a lot of cases. You can kind of see the shields on there. In fact, I think these were, to be fair, originally my brother's, and I may have done some kind of exchange with him for those as an extra to my army, and then rebase them in line with the rest of the troops there as well. And then one of my favourite units in the Macedonian army were these light infantry javelin men, or lighter armed foot companions. The Agrians, I believe that's how you pronounce it. So these were elite light infantry javelin men. Often they would run with the companions, alongside the companions, and engage the enemy. Very effective unit. So I tend to use those a lot, and I've had good success with those in various games that we've played. But again, just simply sort of based up skirmish type javelin figures through rocks. I'll talk a bit about basing and things in a moment. And then we've got, again, light cavalry. These are the Phalanx, the Greek light cavalry. Again, a very effective unit. Javelin stroke spear armed, effective lights. And then we come into the important part, the core of the army. Now these are how I've done my Phalanx troops. So these chaps here look a little bit different to the rest. So these are to represent my hypaspists. Again, apologies for those where I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but these will be the elite phalanx of my army. Again, I'm going to talk to you a bit about the basing of these in a moment. Just want to show you the how I've done those. These were again all Bacchus. I've got 4 of these equivalent. Now in some of the games with the basing conventions, I can get away with 2 bases to represent a phalanx, but in others 4, and I do prefer 4 because it looks a bit more realistic as far as a phalanx is concerned. Let's just show you that from a slightly different angle. So going back to the first ones here, I will show these are all based similarly, but when I did these, I based them on 40-30s, 4 ranks of 4, which is what the Bacchus come on. And what I did is I put them on 2 on the right side of the bases and 2 on the left side of the bases, so you end up with this kind of near enough block. They're probably with these figures a little bit closer, to be fair, but you end up with what looks more like a proper phalanx block, as opposed to putting them in the middle of the bases. They would have been too far separated there, I feel, to give the overall look. So again, if you pull the camera back, apologise, the light is not great today and I don't really want to put a light on, but you can see kind of from an up view there that they look a bit more like a phalanx block. Okay, so then finally we come to the back, some mercenary troops. So we've got some mercenary spearmen stroke javelin men there. These will be Galatian infantry, very good mercenary infantry. And then at the back we've got some mercenary Greek hoplites. Now I believe these were my rapier figures, lovely Greek hoplite figures, but I wanted to do some Greeks, and I thought, well, how can I get those into my army? So I decided I wanted to do some mercenary hoplites, which fought in these kind of armies of the period all over the world. So they're quite pleasing. I like those. Again, I've got another mounted officer there, so you can see him. And with the phalanx, as was the case, we have a foot officer as well, like so. So basing wise, yeah, I mean, I've put these out on one of my desert mats. To be fair, we normally play this game on a green mat, so these bases sort of blend in more. And yeah, probably on reflection I would have done the bases in a lighter sandier colour for the Macedonians, but this was done many years ago when I was still learning basing, so yeah, I didn't really want to attempt to try and break these up and try again. But I was using a very simple system at that point of painting the base in a brown shade, PVA glue, sprinkling grass on top, and then using tufts, as you can see here, the little 2 and 4mm tufts. And again, these are little stones that you can buy in modelling sets, which I've just kind of glued onto the bases to add some sort of rocky terrain to those. And again, then varnished in Army Painter matte spray, just to sort of protect them as best as you can. But yeah, other than that, nothing too complex. So just to zoom that out a little bit, again, apologies for the light, but that is my 6mm Macedonian Ancients army, and as I say, multi-use for lots of different rule sets. I hope you enjoyed having a look. I will show you some close-ups in the final pictures at the end of the video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and see you again next time.